super excited today. Let's talk a little bit about work-life balance. So you have one of the busiest lives I know. Why don't you tell us a little bit about how you manage work, all your multiple roles, and then have your life mixed into that?
Well, I'm not sure I do manage it, but I do my best. I don't think there is any work-life balance. I've never really believed in work-life balance. It's more like a work-life integration. From a very young age, our little one has accepted and understood that, you know, she's the daughter of two business owners and entrepreneurs, and she comes along on the adventures with us. She's done everything from final walkthroughs to virtual showings of houses. I don't think she minds doing it. I think she quite enjoys it. It's fun for her. It's different than just what every other kid does. She still gets to do, you know, everything that a kid does and more. She's very active. So, you know, as my mom role, I just try and slice out making time for her. And, you know, when I am making time for her, I make sure that time is intentional. So if I promised her I'm going to do something with her, then I do it and I follow through, and she knows it. So that's super important to me. So I think that leads to how I balance everything, if that is even possible, is that I set boundaries. I set time blocking is incredibly important to me. Anyone who is in business with me knows that everything's on my calendar. I'm very strict on my calendar. You know, sometimes things go awry, but that's okay. You know, I'm kind of the opinion that if I try and make it 100%, if I hit, you know, 75 every day, it's better than floundering through it. So
can you talk to us a little bit about your systems behind time blocking? How do you actually do them? Because, I mean, I'm not a fantastic time blocker, and I admire, you know, but I do admire how you manage so many roles and you have so much time. There's only so much time everybody has in a day, but you seem to achieve more than most people do. And is that something that you're teaching Scarlett? Do you think she's actually starting to pick up the meaning behind time blocking and figuring that out in her life?
I don't know if she's picking that up yet, but how I do it is discipline. Like, you have to be disciplined and you have to be focused. And there are so many distractions in our world. And actually, I was just talking with Scarlett about that last night, you know, not being distracted by the distractions. And I feel like the world is constantly putting things out there to distract us. You know, little things I do in my life that change being distracted. Like, I have my phone in grayscale rather than color, so I don't see the things pop up and colorful things catch my attention. When I want to put it back into colors, because I'm scrolling Instagram, intentionally scrolling Instagram, I put it back in color, but on a day-to-day, it's in grayscale. So things like that, just small life changes. And I also do have like limitations on apps within my phone. So I use tools to help control my distractions. And then my calendar, you know, everything is on my calendar. The time I check my emails is on my calendar. And people get used to it. They know, you know, if they don't get their email into me before 8 a.m., they may have missed the first email batch clearing. And sticking to those batch clearings is how I do it. Is it perfect? Absolutely not. Like, there are times when I have to jump into my emails, and that's usually when my day gets out of control. I jump in and then I see, you know, 10 others that have caught my attention, and I go down that rabbit hole. But like I said, if I can do it 75% of the time, I feel like I'm achieving it.
If you were to tell somebody, these are the 3 methods that I use to time block and structure my day, what are those 3 pieces of advice that you would say to a person like me that isn't great with time blocking to be able to stay on point?
I think you have to look at what's important in your day. So, you know, we can all spend a lot of time in our emails. You know, someone once told me, I don't remember who it was that said it, but it stuck with me, and this was years ago, that an email, my emails is just a to-do list that anyone in the world can add to. And it's very true. So, you know, being strict and saying, you know, I'm only going to check emails X amount of times, and you determine what that is. Some people are comfortable checking it once a day, some need to check it 5 times a day, some want to check it 10. But whatever it is you commit to is what you stick to, and you don't jump in and out and hit that refresh button. It's almost like an addiction. You know, you're just waiting for that next one to come through, and then you spend your whole day just firefighting. And it's a really negative way to go through work as well, because you feel like you're never achieving the big goals. The other thing I love to do, and I'm a big proponent of, is planning. And I don't mean, you know, massive goals for the year. We do, of course, do our yearly goals, our monthly goals. But each night before I wrap up, I'll make myself a quick list of things that I have to achieve the next day. And the days I don't do that list is insurmountably less successful than the days when I do make a list. And it's not about having a to-do list or marking off the to-do list, although I do like the physical, checking off of a to-do list. I find that rewarding and satisfying. It's more that I know that I've got through what I need to. And I always try and have, realistic goals, which are maybe I'm trying to tackle one big thing today and I've got 5 small admin type things to do. So lists and time blocking are just really essential for me.
So time blocking is essential. What about routines? Do you have a routine from the time that you wake up to the time that you go to bed? Because I do. I love waking up in the morning, going to the gym, taking Scarlett to school. That is like, I just don't deviate from that. And then I get to the office at 8:30 in the morning, start checking my emails, and then start going through the rest of my day. How do you structure your days, and do you have a very fixed routine?
Fixed routine. Yeah, I mean, my life is pretty fixed because we have so much to fit into our lives, whether that's work related or personally related. I don't really have much free time, but I'm fine with that. Like, I love my work. I love being a mom. I don't see it as a chore, any of it. So I do have a routine. I'm naturally more of a night owl. However, I've had to teach myself to be more of a morning person. And just like you, I mean, you're up really early going to the gym. You're out the door at 4:30, but I'm more of a 5:30 wake up type person and get moving. I'm definitely...
So equally as early.
I guess, yeah. But my mornings, I feel I'm naturally more inclined to do the boring stuff. I'll clear the emails, I'll move things along, send things to people who are more
Is that what I'm finding you doing in the morning when I walk into the room? You're always on your phone.
I'm always just moving emails onto who needs it, which member of my team needs to be dealing with this. Because, no matter how organized you are, you end up being a funnel for a lot of things. So it's about, and I don't mind that either, having eyes on things to then send out to the relevant person, or marking it as unread and moving that to when I have a time block for more in-depth type email work. And then if I really want to get something done, often I call it my nighttime task. So if I've got a big task, I can sit, Scarlett's in bed, you're doing whatever you're doing, and I can really get sort of an hour or maybe more where I can just get my head down, the house is quiet, and that's when I feel like I can do my nighttime work, which, a lot of people find they're tired by then, but I actually enjoy that sort of 9 till 10, 11 work slot where I can really get my head down.
I think I've learned quite a bit about how you're using your physical time. Where do you slot in your husband?
He comes along for the ride.
Yeah?
Well, you're part of our business, so we spend all day, every day together, which is, different than other couples. A lot of couples go out the door at 7 a.m. and they don't come home till 6 p.m. So, we do have to be super conscious to have quality time. We spend a lot of time together, like literally all day, every day. But we have to be intentional about our quality time
Hopefully
together.
in a good way.
Yeah, absolutely. I couldn't, doing this adventure with someone else would be really weird.
Yeah. Well, and it is, so there's a fine line between work-life balance and having personal relationship. A lot of people question going into business with a significant other because everything becomes business. Do you feel like that's what's happened in this relationship, or is it more we figured out, well, we have our work time, we have most times, hopefully date nights, and then we spend a ton of time together on the weekends. Do you see it that way? And what do you recommend to people that are considering going into business together, that are husband and wife teams?
So I think one thing that had you asked me this question 5 years ago when our businesses were more in their infancy, I don't think I could have probably answered this as well. But I feel as our businesses have evolved, our roles have evolved, and we actually have very, very different strengths. And I think once we got comfortable in knowing that what your strengths are, what my strengths are, we do work together, but we have very clearly defined roles, which obviously they cross over, and I would expect them to cross. We're both leading the company. We have different strengths. We have different things that we can, focus on. I'm definitely more of an operational type person. You're the big dreamer, which again, it's fantastic. I love to dream and have big ideas as
You
well.
do. And
But
you dream well.
I also put a budget to them, which isn't always your
That
strength.
I don't like.
So I think we have really great, but then, when it comes to marketing and things, I have zero creativity in my blood, and you're fantastic at that stuff. So the team rely on me for operational stuff, contractual stuff, the not so glamorous aspect of it, I guess, but I actually don't see it that way, because without the operational, the other doesn't function anyway. So I think we have really clearly balanced roles, and we, like you said, weekends we are really good at taking time out, I think,
and we've learned to do that, because
we have,
we used to not have any life at the weekends either. I mean, most of our weekends.
Oh yeah, we used to be like just go work constantly, and I think we realized that there needs to be some time here. And I think Scarlett is so passionate about her equestrian that it takes us out into a field for an extended period of time every single weekend, and we're together, we're videoing her, we're enjoying it, and I think that intentionally moves us away from being able to just constantly work.
Right, so it makes it forced almost. So find something that's forced to take you out of work, and that runs the spectrum, right? I mean, you can force yourself, and actually I was having a discussion with Scarlett about this, about time management this morning, because she says, when I'm doing homework, I just get distracted, and she's getting really annoyed with herself because she knows she's getting distracted. And I said, well, if you force yourself to do something, so if you force yourself to do a page of homework, and then take 2 minutes, put 2 minutes on the time clock, Alexa, and as soon as she's done, you go back and you do the next page of work, and then take 2 minutes. If people actually structure themselves that way, they'd probably find themselves, simple as it is, a lot more structured. And it's something that I'm probably going to implement, because I'm a very distracted person as well.
Yeah, I think, recently we were at a conference with Real, and Dandampani was there speaking, and he said something that really stuck with me, which is what we practice is what we get better at, which is, that's not groundbreaking in any way, but we don't practice focus. And it never dawned on me that not only do we not practice focus, but we don't teach focus either in general. Like, kids don't get taught how to focus. Nobody taught me how to focus. I was just told focus. And what does that mean? But yet we practice distraction all day long. Like, we are the absolute masters of distraction. And, we're spending 10, 11, 12 hours a day being distracted. But yet, to be able to sit down and truly focus, which is his background, being a monk at some point in his life, focus was incredibly important to him. And I thought that was so eye-opening, that we have to truly learn how to focus. A lot of people say, oh, I need to focus, but what does that really mean? And I think that's something we as parents can help, and as team leaders as well.